how are you? My name is Bob Bartosiewicz. I'm with an organization, a company called HelloNation, and very proud today to introduce Christopher McDonald, a good friend of mine. Met with, how did we meet? Jim Kelly?
Jim Kelly, the Hall of Famer, Buffalo Bills quarterback. That's how we met.
I think it was 2006, right?
2006, sounds right.
Oh yeah, I'm a 16 handicap. He's a +6 in movies, but in real life, trust me, he is not a +6.
No.
Yeah, and I think Jim
+4,
probably shot like me, like a 86.
Yeah. But that event, it raises great money for Kelly for Kids. They house these families that need it, and when we're out there, it's basically it's a party interrupted by golf because it's just a blast.
Oh my God, that is so perfect.
It's true.
You know, I never heard of it that way. But you're right,
Yeah,
it really
it
is.
is.
Been to probably, what, 6 or 7 Super Bowls together?
Yes, we have. Boy, we've seen some doozies.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And the Bills aren't there yet, but we're still praying.
We are. So if any one of the Buffalo Bills is listening to this with Chris McDonald, AKA Shooter McGavin, let's get there, please.
Let's get there.
Let's get there.
We're this close.
I know,
Every
this
year.
close.
This close.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to HelloNation. HelloNation is a concept that's built around 30,000 magazines and 1.5 million web pages with over, I think we have 350,000 videos attached to these web pages. It's amazing.
They started out with this thing called CGI, and you got all this material now. You have every city in America.
Literally, we say from Manwani, Nebraska, which has a population of 1, to 7.5 million in New York City, and every single town in between. HelloNation is built around this concept of we are from the lampposts of the neighborhoods to the sidewalks of the main street to the steps of either the state or DC Capitol. And we're right now at the U.S. Conference of Mayors.
Washington, D.C.
Yeah, Tom Cochran, and with the U.S. Conference of Mayors, we also work with Clarence Anthony from the National League of Cities, and it's really been an enjoyable experience. But you know what? We're both from small towns. I'm from the town of Thomaston, Connecticut, which is about 7,000 people.
Yeah.
And you're from?
I'm from Romulus, New York, upstate New York, and there's 63 in my graduating class, so pretty tiny.
I had 69 in my graduating class.
Were you the class president?
I was not. I was a class clown.
Class clown.
And unfortunately, I was the class athlete, but when you only have 6 guys in the class, it's kind of easy.
Yeah, that's good.
I was 6'3", and I think the next guy was 5'4". I think I got a little.
You edged him out there.
I edged him out. So anyway, what we're really trying to accomplish with HelloNation is getting the entire country around one key concept, which is we believe, whether it's from the lampposts of the neighborhoods, the sidewalks of Main Street, to the steps of DC Capitol, and everywhere in between, we believe there should be a platform around trusted good news. And we think that why shouldn't good news travel faster? And that's really, Chris, the concept behind this. We work with organizations like Global Newswire, we work with Baden and Bauer, we work with PR Newswire, and everything that we've created has been built 100% around trusting platforms from experts, whether they're the mayor of the town or, quite frankly, the veterinarian. Do you know that this is the funny thing about HelloNation, I think we have 42,000 dog parks in the country that are not just identified in their own digital video magazine, but now the veterinarian, the expert in the community, can actually tell them the do's and don'ts of what to do when you're in a dog park. We used to take our dogs to the dog park. The first time I took my dog to a dog park, probably 20 years ago.
Dog fight.
Had a dog fight.
Yeah, happens.
And
Territorial animals.
Unbelievable.
And I'm a dog fan, believe me.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I spoke to some veterinarians. They said, you have to go to the dog park first, scope it out, and then look at it and see, because they're very territorial. And it happened to me right away. And that's been the concept of what we're doing. Who should be the one that's bringing and delivering the information, the expert information?
And good news, because it's helping them out in their life. Where do you take your dog? Where do you go to the hospital? Where do you get your barber cutting your hair and all that kind of stuff? That's what you go. All that detail is fantastic.
And the concept behind the good news strategy and the expertise-driven program has nothing to do with advertising. As a matter of fact, the businesses that are involved in us, we don't call them sponsors. They're authors. and they're educating the public. I'll give you an example. The origins of advertising, which is mission marketing, which is educational messaging, which is noble narratives and donating your wisdom. We say this all the time. But the actual, I'm a big moviegoer, and you remember the movie Working Girl?
Sure.
It was with Melanie Griffith.
Melanie Griffith,
right?
right, yeah.
Do you remember at the end of the movie, he goes to, I think it was Sigourney Weaver, he goes, well, what was the impetus? What was the origin of the idea? And she didn't know. And then Melanie Griffith came out and said, this is what she did. And I don't know if you remember that. She's literally scoped out exactly how she came up with this idea.
Yeah.
Well, how did we come up with the idea of advertising? If you remember when you were a kid in your small town, there was always like a quasi-mayor of the town. Well, our mayor was George Ryan. He actually owned the local auto service place. And he was right smack in the middle of a very confusing section of our town where people used to didn't know where to go, whether it was Elm Street or there were all these crazy places. Well, people would go in there and ask him directions. And I'll never forget it. He was the nicest guy in the world. He would stop what he was doing. He would literally go right outside.
Take a right here.
He'd take a right, take a left, take a right, and he would do the whole thing. And I'll never forget, because his son was a friend of mine. He was the 5'4" guy.
Oh,
remember?
great.
That was next to me. He was one of the athletes.
You won that one, yeah.
But the son said, let me tell you something about my dad. My dad would always give free information. And the reason why he would give the free information was he thought it was the right thing to do. He didn't care if they bought gas from him. But let me ask you this. When you were a kid, if you asked directions from someone and that person was so nice to you, would you always buy your gas from that person?
Absolutely.
You wouldn't even look at the other, and if he was a jackass, excuse my language, right?
See it.
You would say see it.
Yeah.
So that's the messaging moment that really is all about advertising. Doing things and paying it forward. Doing things good and paying it forward. So our clients, whether they're a veterinarian, whether they're a basement waterproofer, whether they're a police officer, whether they're mayor, every single part of our messaging is noble, and they're all noble narratives. And what we do is we spotlight these people, and because of this, it now has a position on when people ask questions to Google, who's the expert in Pittsford, New York?
Right.
Al Wood will come up, and he is the real estate expert in Pittsford, New York. And we now create expert sites with them. And this philosophy of giving from the experts, so let's be honest. If the business is an expert in the community, they're already doing well in life, right?
Sure, yeah.
And when you ask a business owner, what's their best form of getting business? I guarantee you, it's the same thing with us.
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Yeah.
So why is word of mouth so important? Think about it. The person that's answering the question, hey, do you know a good auto service place, is probably a friend, a family member, someone else.
Right.
And what do they all have? What's the common denominator? Trust, right?
Absolutely.
So we take that and we put that in the ingredients of Hello Nation. Now, imagine a place where there's no advertising, where the businesses are authoring educational ideas, expertise, right? Noble narratives, mission marketing, and they're doing it in a pay-it-forward format that now goes online for ChatGPT, all forms of what we call answer engine optimization, which we're now in the question and answer economy. So it gets philosophically this like tingle effect, if that makes sense. We say that to our clients, and our clients goes, you know what? I believe this is going to work. Mm-hmm. I hope it works.
Because it's a good way to do business. And they get that.
And they do. And
we need more and more of that, by the way. Because
so
when people sign up, it's brilliant.
You know, and the hardest thing for so many people to overcome is this ROI for the moment. What's my return on investment for a moment? Right. I mean, when someone does things good and they pay it forward, and then you just know. You know what it is? It's like when you'd watch the TV show, and when Norm would walk in, people would say Norm, right? Norm! Yeah, and he'd come walking in, right?
Yep.
Well, that's how businesses are in their community. they are the norm of their community. You know what I mean? They
Right, I
truly
do.
are.
Yeah, true.
So when they know what they've done, they know that they've been a good person. They've been karma creating their whole lives, whether it's Romulus, New York, or whether it's Thomaston, Connecticut, and every single town in between.
Yeah.
And when you have this approach, and we call this the advertising approach, they get it. Businesses get it. Nonprofits get it. And I'm so excited that you are our national spokesperson. I just can't tell you. I was talking to my wife. I've been married for 30-something years, and I know you're the same way. And it's exciting to do things on a noble cause, a noble journey, and doing it with you. And I
thank you.
And I
That's
mean
nice.
that.
Yeah, well, I love the whole basis of this is paying it forward. And when people do that, it makes you feel good. It makes you know that you're the man to go to, the woman to go to get the job done and have a good outlet for that. And that's what this is. I mean, this is a gift. And all the people have to do is look up their go put in their town. There it is. What's the best, whatever you want, architecture, and then boom, there it is.
You know, the thing that's so fun is we work with a lot of associations, the National League of Cities,
Yeah.
the Conference of Mayors.
Yeah.
Now we're working like the New York State Chiropractic Association. We're going to be working with hundreds of organizations. And one of the things that we're doing is we're going to be doing podcasts. Everything that we're doing is built off of one critical denominator, goodness, right? Doing it for the sake of good, being the expert. Let me give you an example. Let's say, God forbid, something happens. You're with your wife and you're at a restaurant and you see a person, you think he's just choking for a second and coughing for a second, but he's fully having a heart attack, right? And you can see he's having chest pains. So the wife is looking right, and she's looking around. She goes, is there a doctor? Well, the doctor is right next to him. He goes, I am a doctor, but I'm a dentist. But he goes, maybe I can help because there's no one there. Because he's a pretty smart guy. He's a dentist, right? So he's looking
Medical
at
school,
the
they
person.
teach you everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, right. So now here's the dentist. He's right there. Not that they didn't know it, but a cardiologist overheard them, was 4 or 5 tables away. By the time he got there, the dentist was already sitting in the table. Finally, the cardiologist comes over when he was having some chest problems. Do you think the dentist finally got up and said, absolutely, take over. You're more of a specialist in that. You are a cardiologist and this guy's having a heart attack, right?
Sure.
So he'd get out, right?
Absolutely.
And that's the point with this. There could be general experts, but when you get into the specific expertise and you're doing that, every single noble person will absolutely
Do the right thing.
and refer it to the actual
Absolutely,
cardiologist.
yeah.
And that's what we're doing. So what we're doing is we're trying to pinpoint these real experts across the area and in communities and do it in a geographical format. So now every top dentist, doctor, cardiologist that wants to be able to convey a message locally in their marketplace can do it. And that's why that concept, shouldn't good news travel faster, become the ultimate outcome. And that's what we're doing here.
Well said, because everybody wants the higher level right there, and that kind of collaboration, if you will, of people that work like that. It's a game changer, and that's why I think it's a great idea that you're doing this. Here we are at the Mayor's Convention here in D.C. And
it's crazy.
And they're all like jumping on board, which is fantastic.
Well, they get it, and they get the fact that nothing beats a true message coming with zero motivation other than goodness.
Yeah.
And then what happens is obviously when the algorithms see it, I call it an altruistic algorithm, right? EEAT, which is experience, expertise, authority, and trust. So when you have all these things working for you, right? The ultimate outcome is the applause comes from the results of people that when they ask the question, you now become the expert that's answering them. Let me give you a specific on here. We're going to be talking to many associations in the future. And this is a challenge to all the associations that we're going to be talking to in the future, whether they're a chiropractic association, whether they're a sheriff's association, whatever it is, we now have the ability for every single town to be relevant, whether it's Manwani, Nebraska, to New York, and every town in between. That's one of the reasons why the U.S. Conference of Mayors is working with us. They say, let's leave no town left behind, right?
Great.
A lot of the mayors that have been here, it was funny, we had one mayor from a real small town, and then we had a mayor that was from a very big town.
Yeah.
And we can't say, oh, the big town's got to go first and you have to wait in line. No, because they all should be treated the same way. And there should be a concept of dignity, right?
Yeah.
That's involved. And I think that we're a very dignified, elegant messaging system for everyone that wants educational messaging coming from the specific expert. And
Right.
that's why it's so important.
Right.
I'm so excited for you to be on here, man. Whether it's any of the stuff that we're doing, I know we're about done here, but we have hometown heroes, and you are certainly a hometown hero of Romulus, New York,
Yes, sir.
which is where you're from.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
Geneva, where you went to college.
Right.
And thanks for being a partner with me, man.
I'm honored to be a part of this thing. I think it's a good cause, and I think it's making changes, positive changes to these people's lives and careers. So it's a no-brainer to me.
Thanks, bro.
And you're a good man. So
All right,
thanks.
brother. Hello, Nation. Where
Hello,
good
Nation.
news travels faster.